Assistant Director, do we want to wait for the applicant, or do we proceed when you go?
Yeah, give us about a minute, and I think we just proceed without the applicant.
I think we can. I intended to ask him, can you tell us 3 reasons why we should not approve this application?
Yeah, it was after the discussion. Well, they're sitting. I just saw it. She's talking, but I can't hear her.
You're muted.
You're muted.
Unmute.
Unmute.
They muted me.
Okay.
She can't stay away.
No.
What is the best find you found?
Okay,
What's the best
I think we're
find
good
you
to go.
found?
Good to go.
You're good.
Really cool Santas.
Good evening. On behalf of the City of Independence, welcome to this Planning Commission meeting for this July 11th. Thank you. Let us offer the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yeah, yeah.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. For those of you who are not familiar with our meeting, it is the responsibility of this commission to hold public hearings and make recommendations to the Independent City Council on matters relating to zoning and land use changes within the city. We also consider and make decisions on plats, special use permits, and other issues, as well as changes in codes and policies that relate to city planning. For those who wish to speak tonight, please remember to address all comments and questions to the chair or commissioners, and keep your comments brief and on point. If you agree with the previous comment, simply state your agreement and move on. To expedite the meeting, I'll ask all those who wish to testify or believe they might testify, please stand and be sworn in. Staff, do we have the applicant present?
We do not.
Councilor, should we proceed? Thank you. Let's continue with the roll call.
Commissioner Ferguson,
Here.
Commissioner Nesbitt,
Here.
Commissioner Preston.
Preston?
Yeah, Chair Preston.
Here.
Commissioner H. Wiley,
Here?
Commissioner L. Wiley,
Here.
and Chairman McLean, I guess.
Here.
Staff, would you present?
Yes. Okay, this is case 23-117, and it's the Wheeler House, and the applicant is Johnny Wheeler, and the case is to rezone this property from I-1 industrial to R6 single-family residential. So, as you can see on the slideshow, that this highlighted property is currently zoned industrial, but is surrounded by R6 residential.
Proceed.
And the comprehensive plan calls for residential neighborhoods in this area. So here's an aerial photograph. So yeah, we'll get into it. So this, yeah, here's the aerial photograph of the property. Okay, so while the title of the zoning district changed from M1 Industrial to I1 Industrial in 2009, the property has been zoned industrial since May of 1980. The property was zoned R1 single family from 1965 onward. The lot's structure, built as a single family house, has continued to be used as a residence. The applicant's intended, in the proposal is that the applicant's intended continued use for the property is single family residential. It is legal non-conforming status, can limit the property's ability to be rebuilt if damaged, and thus it is a liability, and thus its ability to be insured or financed. Given the lot's relative narrowness and location with left turns limited by a Jersey barrier, it is also unlikely to be developed for industrial uses anytime soon. So the background, the physical characteristics of the property are that it's a 2,415 square foot white ranch house. This sits approximately 50 feet back on a lot abutting the Missouri 291 highway, the right-of-way of the highway. The lot narrows towards its rear where there is a stand of trees along the rear property line. And between 2018 and 2022, the property's non-conforming gravel driveway was expanded. New gravel driveways and parking lots are prohibited in both residential and industrial zones. Further, aerial views and other photography indicate commercial vehicles had been improperly parked on this property that continues to be a legal non-conforming residential issue. Actions from the city's code division have resulted in the trucks being removed. The expanded gravel area that wraps all around the house has yet to be removed. This issue is also being pursued by the city's codes division. So the characteristics of the area are that this portion of the Missouri 291 highway corridor consists of lots of ranch houses constructed in the 1950s and 60s, or lots of undeveloped land. In general, this has experienced little investment over the last few decades. Immediately across the highway is vacant land and a lot with a residence. To the north is acreage framed by trees, and a small ranch house lies quite close to the south. The west subdivision is, to the west is a subdivision of single-family homes. So the analysis is that an objective, the consistency with the Independence for All strategic plan, an objective of the city's strategic plan is to preserve existing units and neighborhoods. For the comprehensive plan guiding land use principles, the plan recommends that existing residential areas be preserved and enhanced over time. The use of R6 zoning is in keeping with the guiding principle to improve and maintain housing stock in established neighborhoods. And for zoning, the proposed zoning of R6 districts includes single-family homes, home-based childcare, government facilities, churches, schools, utilities, cemeteries, crops, and gardening. Allowed uses in I1 allows for warehousing, wholesaling, vehicle repair, small engine repair, vehicle storage, office use, government facilities, and utilities and manufacturing. Regarding the floodplain and stream buffer, a small portion of the northwest part of the property is located in the federally identified floodplain and in a city designated stream buffer. There are not any historical or archaeological sites on the property, and all utilities are available and operational on the property. And regarding CIP investments, the city does not have any capital improvement plans near this site. So for the, just to get a kind of image and grasp of what we're looking at, this is looking directly at the property, looking west. This is looking north up 291. This is looking south down 291. And this is directly across the street, looking east. And this is looking south towards the neighboring property. And this is the the trees that were mentioned to the north. And we recommend approving this rezoning.
Thank you. Noting that the applicant is absent, generally, my concern on any property being rezoned from industrial would be prior use. However, in this case, this has always been a residential. Therefore, the major impediment is no longer, it doesn't exist. Commissioners, do you have questions of staff? Hearing none, we're going to close the public portion of this hearing, Commission, and permit you to move to discussion.
Chairman, I make a
Commissioner.
motion, I make a motion that we approve case 23-100-17.
I second.
Here it is, motion for approval and a second. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Ferguson,
Yes.
Commissioner Nesbitt,
Yes.
Commissioner Preston,
Yes.
Commissioner H. Wiley,
Yes.
Commissioner L. Wiley,
Yes.
and Chairman McLean.
Yes.
The motion has been approved. The following actions by the Planning Commission, this rezoning request is scheduled for first reading by the City Council on July 11. Couldn't that be? Not possible. Must be, what's the appropriate date of the first reading? 25th? Well, the second reading is on August 21st. The matter has been approved. There are no further cases. Staff, do you have any recommendations for future actions?
I do not. I believe we have 6 cases on the next meeting.
6 cases in the next meeting, which is the 25th,
Yes, I believe so.
will speak. Hearing no further comments, this meeting is adjourned.